What you just saw was the first three-pointer ever made in the NBA. At the time, this was just a gimmick, a fun shot that was more for show than of value. No one had a clue that this single shot would eventually become the catalyst that would change basketball forever. Three-pointers are everything. Every team, every player, everywhere. It is such an essential part of the game now that it doesn't matter what type of player you are. If you showed someone in the 80s a 7'5" center pulling up from deep, their feeble brains wouldn't even be able to process it. All sports change as time goes on, but it really feels like basketball has changed the most, but not necessarily in a good way. There's a slight problem, actually quite a big problem. Basketball is hitting a decline, and ratings are down by quite a lot. Fans simply aren't watching NBA games as much as they used to, and there's been more criticism for how the game is being played now than ever before. But the general narrative is actually blaming the three-point line. Fans are complaining that players simply shoot too many threes, that games are not as exciting anymore. But how true is this narrative? Are three-pointers leading the NBA to a dark path, or are they making the league better than ever? Back in 2016, Steph Curry broke the record for most threes made in a season. Well, to say he broke it would sort of be an understatement. He was on a planet of his own.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
The Warriors' dominance showed the world that the three-point shot was a lethal weapon. And soon enough, every team adopted their winning formula. Every game you watch nowadays is almost entirely based on three-pointers. I know we all agree that Curry was very influential, but that doesn't do his impact justice. He completely revolutionized the sport. No one knew how to stop him, because he had mastered an art that players didn't give much consideration to. Obviously, even before him, players were still shooting threes, but after 2016, it was just a whole nother level. And we're really starting to see this effect now. Back in the 90s, if you were a 7-footer and you shot a three, you would get benched in a heartbeat. And now you have centers nailing step-back threes from way behind the arc. This isn't really a secret. Everybody knows that teams are shooting threes at a rate which we've never seen before. But why is this considered a problem? 3 points are worth more than 2. Quite simple, right? But the fact that it's farther away means it's harder to make. Players don't actually make as many threes as you would think they do. If you made 4 out of 10 shots, you would be an elite top-of-the-line shooter. If you shot 33% from 3, it's the same as shooting 50% from inside the line, including layups. A 33% three-point percentage is generally viewed as not great, while a 50% field goal percentage is excellent. What this means is that threes are a much more valuable shot, so why would any team bother going for twos? Victor Wembanyama often gets criticized for this. I mean, the man is 7'5", attempting almost 9 threes a game. At face value, this seems very wrong. Just put him in the paint for the easy bucket, right? But he's making 35% of them, the same percentage as Luka Doncic, but you don't see anybody telling him to stop shooting threes. So even for the tallest guy in the NBA, it is more efficient for him to shoot a three than go to the post. 20 years ago, that would be unbelievable to hear. Right now, the Denver Nuggets have the lowest average three-point attempts, with 31.1. In 2016, the Warriors averaged 31.6 attempts, the highest in the league. The team that makes more threes is 67% more likely to win the game, and the Boston Celtics, who are the reigning champs, are making history by shooting nearly 50 threes a game. You get the point. We've seen just how dominant this playstyle can be. You cannot win a championship without long-range shooting anymore. Ben Simmons tried to get away with not being able to shoot, and that didn't really work out too well. It's no longer an option, it's necessary. Along with spacing and less defensive measures, offense has reached a completely new level. So much so that people are saying the three-point line is breaking basketball. We're all human, and eventually we get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. Checking up threes is only entertaining for so long. Year after year, the average three-point attempts just keep on increasing. If you made threes and the other team didn't, you win. You don't even look at the rebounds or the turnovers or how much transition D was involved. You don't even care. And I actually didn't say those words. That was from Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches of all time. And he said that 6 years ago, back in 2018, kids are no longer growing up seeing mid-range fadeaways from Kobe or electric crossovers by Iverson. They're seeing Curry pull up from the logo. Now the narrative around Curry's influence has changed slightly. Not everyone likes his impact. Younger players are taking as many threes as possible, mimicking his playstyle instead of having a well-rounded game. And now we're sort of reaching a point where a lot of fans are tired of seeing this. And it's because of this that people are attributing the rise in three-pointers to the drop in ratings. But this isn't true. Remember, correlation is not causation. The reason why viewership is down so much is due to way more factors than just everyone spamming threes. First of all, TV watchers in general have been dying down, and pirating streams is much easier than paying for overpriced subscriptions that don't even show all the games. Second of all, superstars have been taking games off more than ever before, so if the players don't care, why would the fans? And by far the biggest contributor is the god-awful refs. There's basically no point in watching a game when a ref can completely change the outcome depending on their mood. A player says no homo, and they're very quick in handing out $100,000 fines, but are completely silent when anyone mentions the officiating. From a management point of view, the NBA has been making very poor decisions, promoting gambling, silencing players, and not giving enough attention to young stars on the rise. So it's unfair to say that threes are the problem. Yeah, sometimes it does feel like it's a three-point contest every night, but it didn't ruin the game. It's interesting how when Curry shoots a bunch of threes, he's praised for it, but when other players do it, they get criticized. It's not fair to say that Steph Curry is the reason why the NBA is on a decline. Remember, don't hate the player, hate the game. The three-pointer was a tool that was made to be a difficult shot and add variety, but it's now become the ideal shot and is a standard for every player. You can't ignore the years of rule changes, the constant advertisements, the fact that Americans just aren't watching cable TV anymore, and say the tray ball is the main reason why. People complaining saying it's boring to watch would find it even more boring to see teams give the ball to the big man in the paint every single time. If anything, this rise has made the NBA 10 times more exciting, because now it's not just the tall players who are good. Curry showed that an undersized player who isn't blessed with godlike athleticism can still become an all-time legend, which is a major reason why his influence was so great. Majority of people can't dunk like LeBron, or fly like MJ, or plow through defenses like Shaq, but they can shoot. Anybody can shoot. And it's provided a way for smaller, less athletic guards to have long-lasting careers. Even if they're not good at anything else, as long as they can shoot, they can make a living. It is such a simple concept, but it was Curry who showed what it was truly capable of. The three-point shot actually completely balanced the game, even though it may not feel like it. Undeniably the greatest addition in the history of the sport, because you either live by the three or you die by the three.